Hey everyone, it's me Chris from Body Nova Fitness Coaching, and today I want to take you with me on my leg workout, or one of my leg workouts. I usually have two that I rotate because one is more centered around the squat and the other is centered around the deadlift. Okay, so I try not to have a regular squat and a deadlift. This is a little different because somebody made a bet and I was trying to empty out them pockets. So I kind of took on that challenge, and it didn't really get in the way of what I was doing that day, what I was trying to do that day. So I usually don't squat and deadlift, a bent knee deadlift, stiff-legged all the time. Trap bar or snatch or any of the other deadlifts, I usually don't do that on the same day that I squat because I get a lot of compression in my spine. And I know part of it is me being too lazy to stretch like I should. Okay, or as much as I should, and that plays a role. But the other part of it is I've been lifting for a very long time, so there's a lot of that in my, on my body, a lot of wear and tear I'm trying to prevent, as I get older. So anyway, so with that being said is I come into the workout, I do a lot of I guess you could call it mobility, but it's also preventative work, I'll start off, I'll roll out the legs, but mostly more the hips, because the hips, some of the muscles in my hips tend to be real tight. So if I roll them out, I can go harder during the workout, which is not so much the big deal. It's avoiding experiencing the tightness or the discomfort in my back later. So that's why I have most of this routine, and it takes quite a while. But also I think it's kind of there as karma. When I was a kid, I used to play basketball with, of course, real basketball players because I suck, right? So though being young, one of the things we can do is warm up, do a couple of laps around the court, get some stretching in, 5 minutes, boom, And I always used to see the older guy, he'd be covering head to toe, he'd have shorts on and tights underneath, which was weird back then. Or not weird, let's just say it's a little much, looking from a young guy's perspective. And you're in Southern California, right? Okay, shorts and tights, Southern California, you kind of hot most of the year, right? The goggles, the sweatshirt, the cutoff shirt over a regular shirt or long sleeve shirt, and the whole nine and stuff like that, and I made fun of homie. The karma gods or whatever the hell you want to call them, they just said, ha 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 ha. So now I got my old man warm up here as punishment. So I go through it, I start rolling out the hips, and then I go into stretching. Now, people talk about stretching, and they say, no, don't stretch before a workout. Okay, there's two different trains of thought, okay? Because when they looked at those studies, or when the studies that I've looked at on that was all to express maximal strength, which is not what I'm doing, okay? I might go to build muscle a little bit. I go for the enjoyment of the workout or see what I can get from the workout and changing various techniques and things like that. Maximum strength is not expression mine because I very seldomly perform sets less than 8 reps. We're using my 8 rep max. Let me rephrase that. Using my 8 rep max, okay? Because the 8 sets of 8 program, that is 8 reps, but that's with my 15 rep max, So, roll out, get my stretch on it, and also thing is, I'm not really, like for example, I don't really stretch my hamstrings. Hamstrings are already tight. I'll stretch my hip flexors, I'll stretch my quads, to get rectus femoris, but I don't really stretch the hamstrings. I stretch the muscles of the hip, like the glute muscle, glute medius muscles, glute muscle, glute maximus, piriformis, TFL stuff. I stretch those, but I don't necessarily stretch the hamstrings because they're already kind of stretched and it doesn't really help me much. So I'm just trying to prepare those of us that sit, those of us that got tight hip flexors, okay? What that does, it tilts the pelvis down. If this is the top of your pelvis, okay, and this is the bottom and this is the front, okay, it will take that and it will tip that. Those muscles will shorten because they're tight and they will tip them down, okay? So I try to do things that will tip them backwards. So that's why I start with the stretching, And I'll also do some ab work. I'll do some reverse crunches. And what has worked really well for me is doing hip abduction, abduction. Like legs are at the midline, you're taking them away against resistance. You're trying to take them away from the midline of the body, but it's against resistance, like aliens taking away your body away. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Hip abduction, because though that works the glutes, and the glute muscles along with the abs, if you perform them right, they will tilt the pelvis into correction. Now we're talking slight, but all I need is slight, to get away with what I need to do. You know what I mean? And when I did this before, I was able to avoid any pain via compression or any discomfort in the back. So this is a part of my warm-up. So I get through all that. Now this is my squat day. Now so I'll do a pre-fatigue by doing leg extensions first. Most people think that's a no-no, but again, I'm not trying to express my maximal strength. So I go with the leg extensions and I superset them with the leg curls. Both of them, when I go to squat and hit the stiff-legged deadlifts later, I get better. I can feel the quads working more. I can feel the hamstrings working more. And I get a higher quality workout when doing those exercises. So I start with them first, okay? Then I go to the squat, okay? But this squat that I'm doing is not the conventional with the bar on the back. I pay a penalty for that. I can probably get away with it, but I go with this, and this is my belted squat, okay? So as I do this, of course, I'm standing on these little steps somebody made. Shout out to homeboy that brings these things in, because they're awesome, okay? So I have my feet up on the steps. The chain, the thing is, you want to do a trial run beforehand, because you want to get the chain just right, because the belt that I'm using here isn't my belt. The gym has a couple of them, so why use mine and unpack mine for my bag, right? Right. So the thing is to get the chain the right length, so when you're sitting in the bottom, you can get a deep enough squat and still have tension on the muscles that you're working. So I do this high reps. I'll start with 5 plates for 20. Then I'll go 5 plates in the 25, and I'll go for 15. And then at some point I get real warm, and I feel real good. So I end up going 6 plates for 15, the 2 more sets of 15, and then I walk away. All right. So next is the stiff-legged deadlift, but I do the stiff-legged deadlift with a snatch grip. Okay. So with the snatch grip, I got to use the upper back muscles a little bit more. But at the same time, I also get a higher quality hamstring workout, and that's what I'm trying to get from this. I finished the stiff-legged deadlift. I finished 3 sets of the stiff-legged deadlift. So my 4th set, this is when I get a challenge from one of my clients about how many times I can rep 225. Well, it wound up being 275. That was that's what I did for the 4th set. I guess you can call it a bit of a back off set, because during the set I was doing 315. After I hit my reps for that deadlift, you know what I mean, hamstrings and stuff are fried, but it's still all good. I still got leg work to do, so I've committed to that. So here it is. I go on and I hit a superset. And the superset, with the superset, it's of course one quad exercise, one hamstring exercise. So the first is the quad exercise. I'm doing a low pulley split squat with the step, my front foot elevated. I'm on front foot elevated on the step. So I use the step because I make up for, I don't really have a lot of flexibility, I guess you could say, in the lower leg, you could say the ankle or whatever. So because when I squat, they tend to stay more still. I really don't get them to push forward like they need to because they're tight. So I use the step when I do split squats to make up for that. So I can get into a deeper split squat without necessarily making it all a hamstring thing. Most people, they go straight down. And as you go straight down, it's more of a hamstring and glute thing, okay? I kind of go, like my big homie says, he says elevator, not escalator, okay? So I go kind of at a diagonal. That's why I like this. You can see it from the pulley. The pulley pulling is kind of at a diagonal, and it's not a straight down or a straight forward. It's a combination of both. Now, using that step allows to make up for my shins not being able to move forward. I can get greater angles at the knee, so I can work my quads a little bit harder. Hamstring glutes a little bit harder too, because I can get into a deeper squat. Okay, so that's why I really like using the step, and then I can use it with clients that have varying flexibility levels. I can use a higher step with people who got crappy flexibility, a lower step with people that have great flexibility or just need more quad work or whatever the case may be. But it's really great for that, and I also like to keep up with strength, unilateral strength, one-legged strength. Try to keep it as close to even as possible. Okay, I superset that with the cable pull through. Now, some people might try to use a good morning instead of this. I like the cable pull through because my back is already taking a beating at this point, so the pull through is not much of a beating. I just have to remember that, one, when you do the cable pull through, you're not going to be able to sink super far back into oblivion. That's not going to happen. You know, it's an end range motion for the hips. I mean, for the glutes and hamstrings, mid-range for the hamstrings, right? So as I go through, if you notice, you look at my feet, sometimes I'll push up on my toes as I'm going through. That'll allow me to make the hamstrings work a little bit harder when I'm doing this, okay? And then I just really focus on raising on my toes as I come through, and then as I'm coming through, not make it a head and a shoulder thing, make it a hip. And I just really try to drive the hips forward, the tops of my hips forward, kind of diagonally down into the ground, and that makes sure I can engage, you know, my posterior chain, the hamstrings and the glutes more, and get a higher quality workout from that. So I'm really big on just getting that technique down and leading from the hips is not leading from the shoulders, because it's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing for you to control. But so I'll superset these. I'll get 4 sets of 10 to 12 on the split squat and 12 to 15 on the cable pull throughs, and then I'll end the workout with the Swiss ball leg curls, and sometimes I'll add the some sissy squats in. I didn't do that today. With a Swiss ball leg curl, I can do 20 reps, which really doesn't make me work hard enough on the hamstrings. I don't really feel the hamstrings enough. So what I do is I'll do the right side, then the left side, or vice versa, and then I'll finish off with both legs, and that's 1 set for me. So I'll get 3 sets of that, and that's a wrap for my leg workout. I hit calves on another day with my shoulders, so I'm not really going to be doing any calves today. But that's the gist of my leg workout, and along with some tips. Hopefully, you know, you guys can use them, and you know, to help make your workouts better